Throughout each episode, Rick and Morty contains hidden jokes and details from the artists. So today, I'm going to go over some of my favorite ones. Here are 36 things you might have missed in Rick and Morty Season 1. In the opening, Rick has armed a neutrino bomb, and it's unclear how Morty gets out of the situation.
Neutrino bomb armed.
This is later referenced in Season 3's Vindicators 3: The Return of Worldender. When Rick arms a neutrino bomb and Morty has to deactivate it, he mentions not only how many times he's had to do this when Rick drunkenly makes a neutrino bomb, but also that 40% of them are duds.
Morty, how many of these? Too many, Rick! Too many!
In the Smith-Sanchez home, there's a family portrait on the wall near the staircase. In it, we can see Beth, Jerry, and Morty. However, Summer is mysteriously missing from the photo. In future episodes, this particular portrait has been replaced. Rick's rant about school is specifically...
Guy up front says 2 + 2, people in the back say 4, then the bell rings, they give you a carton of milk and a piece of paper that says you can go take a dump or something.
Right when we cut to Morty at school, he's at math class. Mr. Goldenfold starts with
2 + 2.
Jessica.
And everyone in the back says 4. On a side note, Morty is 14. Why are freshmen in high school just now learning addition? Additionally, when Morty portals into the cafeteria, multiple students are drinking from cartons of milk, just as Rick mentioned. No bathroom hall passes spotted though. Or maybe I missed something. In the intergalactic custom scene, many of the silhouettes seen are references to other shows and films. You can see Tom Servo, Crow T Robot, and Gypsy silhouettes from Mystery Science Theater 3000. There's both a Big Bird and Mr. Snuffleupagus silhouette you can spot from Sesame Street, a prawn from District 9, a xenomorph from the Alien franchise, a Space Invaders alien, and even an homage to another Adult Swim classic, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, with Ignignokt the Moonanite.
Fryman, we're full of religion now. Everyone, please, bow your heads and pretend to be serious.
Do it or I'll bow them for you.
Later on, as they're running away from the Gronflamites, you can also spot silhouettes of Beefcake the Mighty and Odorous Urungus from Gwar. It's possible there's even more references I'm missing, like who this silhouette in a lab coat / cape next to a little rabbit thing is. During the shootout with the Gronflamites, when Morty starts randomly firing at them, it's actually he who accidentally shoots and hits an innocent alien running past. The towing company that's going to be used for Rick moving out is U-Tow, with a big toe on it, because it's a pun for a towing company. To save on budget and prevent animators from needing to create so many background characters, many of them are frequently reused. One such one you'll notice in Season 1 episodes Rixty Minutes, Closer Encounters of the Rick Kind, and Ricksy Business first appeared here in Episode 2. His rainbow suspenders, football shirt, and goofy hair make him hard to miss after you first notice him. There's a brief moment when Summer hugs Morty after Rick and Morty save her from the dogs where she presses him against her chest during the hug. Morty immediately shoves her away, grossed out after the pleasure chamber dream from earlier in the episode. During the montage of dogs taking over the world, the dogs put something weird looking in their garbage truck. It's brief, but the garbage bin says, "human testicles," and the sign next to it in full likely reads, "testicle pickup." Now that you know this, here's a slow-mo of the dump with sexy, sexy music. While it's obvious this is a play on the famous painting of dogs playing poker, with robot dogs playing poker who now have a painting of humans playing poker, what you might not have noticed is that those painted humans actually have their own, even smaller painting of dogs playing poker. Perhaps the painted humans, painted dogs painting you can barely see is even more humans playing poker, making this a kind of infinite mirror painting.
Wow, a whole world populated by intelligent dogs. I wonder what it'll be like, Rick.
I think it'll be great, Morty. You know, it could be developed into a very satisfying project for people of all ages. I mean, I'd watch it, Morty, for at least 11 minutes a pop. You know, maybe they'll do it board-driven.
You know, that's a real comforting idea, Rick.
What do you know, Morty?
Rick and Morty mentioning a whole world populated by intelligent dogs would be a great show is actually a reference to Justin Roiland pitching exactly this to Cartoon Network as Dog World. Interestingly, the theme song from Rick and Morty actually first originated here.
My name is Peter Michaels. While on a camping trip with my brother Edmund and sister Sally, we were sucked through some kind of wormhole and transported to another world. Dog World.
Rick's operating/medical table for Ruben is actually a ping pong table. In Jerry's simulation, if you pay attention to the buildings he's driving past, He's literally driving past the exact same 3 buildings in a row on both sides of the street. Drugstore, food store, then a hat store on the front-facing end, and a slight variation of these on the bottom. This includes when we can see him from the angle of the driver's seat. Similar to the stores Jerry drives past, if you pay attention to the characters in the background he walks past when talking to Beth, it's the exact same 3 characters looping over and over again. During the simulation flyby from one simulation to the other, we pass a window for a brief moment. This window shows the Zygerian scammer bathroom, which grossly is one of those open toilet stall concepts. The Zygerian pooping has his tunic half down, but his legs are still brown, meaning either they have brown legs and a pink head, or he's pooping with his pants still on. The board members in the pitch room are actually slightly different here than when Jerry pitches his campaign for real at the end of the episode. Notably, his boss is actually missing from this first scene, maybe making him even more of an idiot. At the beginning, the cartridge Morty inserts into the button so they can seal his demonic clone family away is an NES cartridge. It even has the official Nintendo seal of quality on it. In the thirsty step, the toilets are marked with a sign, Pee-Pie-Poo, another play on the Giants' Fee-Fi-Fo-Thumb. King Jellybean looks just like Crumply Crumplestein, the host of a Channel 101 short, Unbelievable Tales, who also just happens to be a pedophile. I guess now we know a little more about those photos. Henry Herbston High School spared little expense for their annual flu season dance. They even have a cute little flu mascot on the wall you might have missed around 6 minutes into the episode. Speaking of this little mascot, he's also on a card near the punch asking for donations to fight the flu. If you've ever wondered what the Harry Herbston High School school mascot was, you're in for a treat. A sign in the gymnasium of the school reveals that they're the home of the Harry Herbston Herbsons. Yep, they're Herbsons, whatever that is. The school's also been around for a while as they won the All-CIF 1926 in swimming and All-CIF 1952 in football. When Rick throws his keys on the table near the ionic defibrillator, you can actually see that it's leaking. This could just be the reason this particular dimension's defibrillator explodes, killing Rick and Morty.
There's an infinite number of realities, Morty, and in a few dozen of those, I got lucky and turned everything back to normal. I just had to find one of those realities in which we also happen to both die around this time. Now we can just slip into the place of our dead selves in this reality, and everything will be fine. We're not skipping a beat, Morty.
Consider that in all of those infinite realities, there were only a few dozen where Rick turned everything back to normal, and presumably, this is one of the only ones where Rick and Morty hopped over to a replacement dimension where Morty would have had to bury his own body. This has had a giant effect on our Morty, who's been both traumatized by it and grew from the event. Later in the season, Morty is deemed
The one true Morty! The one true Morty!
He's the only one proactive enough out of all of the other Mortys in the room to act out, take charge, and help them all escape. Perhaps this single event gave rise to our Morty becoming the Mortiest Morty of all, and he's one of the only Mortys who's had to bury his own dead body. The Gazorpazorps, now controlled by Rick, have a line of Rick flags leading up to his hut. The giant floating head that drops more Gwendolyn's, sex robots, is actually a reference to a film, that being the Sean Connery film Zardoz, where the head instead carries guns. Just like in Rick and Morty's spoof on it, Sean Connery actually ends up riding the head, which takes him to a higher society who have been ruling over and controlling the lower society. The Gazorpazorp throne Maja occupies says on it Sis Semper Calumniam. This is Latin, roughly translating to either you shall always suffer shame or you shall always be oppressed. The concept for this episode of using an interdimensional device to watch cable across dimensions actually first stemmed from another Justin Roiland show, House of Cosby's. In this Channel 101 show, the house uses an intergalactic transmission receptor as an excuse to watch other shorts created by Justin Roiland. One of the stores Summer Rick briefly fly over is called Fat People Pajamas. It's not important, but it cracked me up. Morty and Jerry's drawing tools all have, interesting names. The glue is labeled as Sticky Jizz, and his crayons are Colorado Wax Sticks.
Well, son, what did you think when you were 5 and you pooped your pants and you threw your poopy undies out your bedroom window because you thought it was like throwing something in the garbage? I mean, I'm trimming the hedges and these things are just hanging there. Was I supposed to think the poop bunny left them?
Good one, Dad.
This story Jerry tells about Morty's childhood actually comes directly from series co-creator Dan Harmon's own childhood. In the episode commentary, he revealed that when he was a child, he thought everything out of the window was gone from his world, hence why he did this. A scene from this episode can actually be seen in one of the original trailers for the Justice League. In a scene where Batman is talking to the Flash, if you check the background, you'll notice that the scene where Summer and Rick are getting ready to kick the devil's ass is playing on a monitor. While the changing foreground here is obvious, of pizza people, phone people, and chair people, it's also fun to take a look at the background where you'll see 3 identical pictures also all changed to adjust, showing a family and their baby. Justin Roiland wanted the Citadel of Ricks to take inspiration from the similarly named Citadel of Mass Effect. We can see this visually with the combination of their fountains, incorporated nature, and circular architectural design. One of the portals Rick creates spits out a pen, a notebook, and a question mark mug. This is actually connected to the show Gravity Falls, with Justin Roiland being friends with Gravity Falls show creator Alex Hirsch. In the ending stinger to Gravity Falls episode Society of the Blind Eye, these same 3 items are sucked into a universe portal and then dropped here in Rick and Morty, meaning Gravity Falls is another dimension within Rick and Morty. In Rick's room, seen this episode, you can spot images of his spacecraft, Mr. Meseeks, Aberdolf Linkler, Dr. Xenon Bloom, and a Zygerian scammer. A less obvious detail, due to how dark it is in the shot, is that when the house teleports away to another dimension during this season, the Smith Sanchez's neighbor's house is partially torn apart by the teleportation field, with part of it also teleporting to another dimension, but never returning later on in the episode. Speaking of the house teleporting back here, there's a giant crack around where it left and has been a part of the show's visual continuity even through, as we've seen in the trailer, Season 5. How many details did you spot before? Let us know some of your favorites from this list or ones I didn't include in the comments below. And make sure to like and subscribe to GameSpot Universe, and I'll see you guys next time.